Give me 2. Give me 3. Turn me up!
I have one question to ask. Anybody ready to go walk with me?
Yes, sir.
Anybody ready to go walk with me?
Yes, sir.
War time! War time!
You gonna make your name today. You understand?
Yes, sir.
1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. How you feel? How you feel?
Grudge match, North Henry taking on Georgia Thoroughbreds from the Georgia Extreme. North Henry from the SCFL, and good run by the running back, getting into the end zone, putting Georgia Thoroughbreds on top. And then watch this run here. Great blocking up front. Makes one man miss, makes another man miss, 4 missed tackles. He gets into the end zone, and Georgia Thoroughbreds will end up winning the grudge match 18-0.
Hey, man, it was a great season. It was a long time coming.
We do want to see the fire. Where you at, baby?
Semifinals of the Frank Ski Bowl, Atlanta Vikings taking on the Jonesboro Gators. And look at the tough run by number 28, getting into the end zone, giving the Atlanta Vikings the early lead. But then Jonesboro Gators would fight back. Look at the receiver, go up and get it and rip the ball away from the defender. Good job by number 22. But number 2 from the Atlanta Vikings goes with a QB sweep, gets around the right corner, dives to the end zone, helping improve on the Atlanta Vikings lead. Then Jonesboro Gators goes to that man, number 20, Nicholas Manson. Played with a sprained ankle, played well for the most part. The drive would end up stalling out. The Atlanta Vikings would go to the air themselves. Great catch by their receiver. Gets him down near the 1-yard line. Then they would punch it in as Atlanta Vikings would advance to the championship game. Guys, we know you just saw the highlights, and what an amazing show we have for you. Of course, you just saw Atlanta Vikings take on the Jonesboro Gators, but right now, let's switch it up a little bit. Going from the Frank Ski Bowl to the B2C Championship Series, where the best of the best come to play. And right now, you have the Tucker Lions, number 1 ranked team in the land, in the country, however you want to say it, state of Georgia, taking on the Atlanta Vikings. Last year, it was a classic. Atlanta Vikings won in overtime. This year is going to be the exact same thing as the Tucker Lions. Atlanta Vikings go at it in the 8-0 division B2C championship. Atlanta Vikings taking on Tucker Lions, a rematch of last year's B2C championship game that went into overtime. Tucker ranked number 1, Atlanta Vikings number 2, and Tucker starts off the highlights with an interception, putting his team in good position to score a touchdown. And that is exactly what they do as number 1 gets into the end zone, giving Tucker the early lead. But the Atlanta Vikings would fight back, going with the fake as the quarterback gets outside, putting his team in good position. And here they score the touchdown, which ties the game up and would send the game into overtime. Now in overtime, Atlanta Vikings must score as it is 4th down. And look at the quarterback, goes to his second read, finds the man in the back of the end zone, hit him with a little bit of celebration, and they lead 12-6. Here they must convert the extra point, and they do not, as the score is 12-6. Tucker has the ball. Now they have possession. Great blocking outside by the tight end and the fullback. Tucker gets into the end zone, and the score is tied 12-12. Tucker must convert to win the game. And that is exactly what they do. Going around the right side, ball game as Tucker wins the championship 13-12 in a thriller.
Well, hard fought, hard hitting. We knew it from the beginning what it was going to be like, man. Every time we play the Vikings, man, it's the same results, man. They play smash mouth football, so do we. We come out, and that's what we like to play, man. But we got 23 guys on this football team, man, that we knew were good at the beginning of this season, and as the season went on, we knew they were great. And we told them what it took to be great, which was be humble and play smash mouth, hard-nosed football, man. And, I got to thank my coaching staff and the parents for just riding with us and telling us that, they trusting us to coach these kids the right way. And that's what it went like, man. That's for us.
All right, good job, man. Good job.
That's for you, coach.
Number 1 versus number 2. Ackworth Warriors ranked number 2 taking on the Welcome All Panthers ranked number 1. And Ackworth starts the highlights off by getting into the end zone, scoring on a 2-yard touchdown run. But then Welcome All Panthers, number 24, breaks off a big one, getting into the end zone, and the Welcome All Panthers would have the lead in this game as they will be up by a touchdown. Then late in the third quarter, this kid here is looking for the Player of the Year nominations. As he scores a touchdown, Welcome All win the championship 20-7.
It's for us, we told you we were going to be here from day one. We knew. Time just had to catch up with it. Everybody else, all the silly stuff out there, talking about they're the best, this the best, it really didn't matter. The 2 best teams in the state were here, and 1 was standing at the end. This is what number 1 looks like. So y'all understand, these coaches right here, with the work they're putting in practice, no one out there could get out there and match with us. So if you think you want to play with us, no one in Georgia, you're done. It's over with at this point. No one. You're not even relevant. So don't get on the blog. Don't speak about it. It's over. This is what number 1 looks like. Everybody else out there, out California, if you're in Alaska, where you at, you want to play us, come see us. Number one team in the state. Welcome All Panthers, baby.
Welcome All Panthers, the first 6 seed ever to make it to the championship game, already beating the 3 seed and 2 seed, and now they face the number 1 ranked team in the land, the Atlanta Vikings. As you see, last year's B2C Player of the Year breaks off a long run, gets into the end zone to give the Vikings the early lead, and then later in the game, again he breaks out, and the Atlanta Vikings will go on win the championship 13-0.
Well, once again, we come with a positive attitude as a coaching staff, we come with great inspiration as a team. And as a program, we come as one. With that being said, these young men deserve everything they receive. With a great support system from the parents, along with the coaching staff, hey, it's nothing but number 1. I mean, we work for it. When you work for it, you deserve it.
We told you there was some great action in the B2C Championship Series. Now let's switch. Let's go back to the Frank Ski Bowl. Central DeKalb Jaguars, number 2, ranked number 2, taking on the Georgia Supreme Gladiators, ranked number 3. We both know what they have on both sides of the ball. Talent on offense, talent on defense. This game is guaranteed to be one of the better ones in Frank Ski Bowl history. Other semifinal matchup in the Frank Ski Bowl. Georgia Supreme Gladiators taking on Central DeKalb, and look at the interception by number 5 from CDJ. Goes up, gets the interception, returns it near the 40-yard line for the Central DeKalb Jaguars. Then, of course, as he has done so many times before, Nate Morgan, last year's 11 and under B2C Player of the Year, rips off a long one, gets into the end zone, and gives Central DeKalb the lead 6-0. But after GSA touchdown, which will tie the game up 6-6, CDJ snaps the ball over the quarterback's head, and Georgia Supreme would end up recovering the ball around the 10-yard line. Then they go at the quarterback, getting around the left side, gets into the end zone, and GSA would lead the game 12-6. But we know Central DeKalb ranked number 2 for a reason. They're fighting back with their top man, number 3, Nate Morgan, as he gets some yards for him, and then they go with the big bruiser, number 80. Gets into the end zone. Central DeKalb would have the lead 13-12. Then later in the game, GSA goes to the air. Central DeKalb would intercept it, and it seems like everything is going Central DeKalb's way. They're looking to pull away with this game. Then they get back down to the goal line, but it is a fumble. GSA would recover it on the 1-yard line. And here's GSA will go to work, giving it to the big bruiser. Finds some room around the outside. Gets down around the 40-yard line, helping move the chains for GSA as they are trying to win the game. Then they go to their scat back, gets around the left side, great blocking outside. But I tell you what, look at this run here. Gets up under a couple tackles, keeps his feet, and it looks like GSA has a chance to win the game. But the drive fizzles out as they go forward on 4th down. Great job tackling outside by number 10. And then CDJ with the ball back, goes with the play action, finds number 84, And that is the ball game as Central DeKalb will advance to the championship game of the Frank Ski Bowl. All right, guys, hope you're enjoying the highlights. Let's get back to the B2C Championship Series. It is some great action. And remember this, guys, no team has ever come from out of the state of Georgia to make the B2C Championship Series championship game, nevertheless win it. But that is exactly what the Maryland Rhinos are trying to do as they are in the 14 under division taking on the Welcome All Panthers. Check the highlights out. Maryland Rhinos taking on Welcome All Park Panthers, and Maryland, the first team ever from out of the state of Georgia to make it to the championship game, and they are here to play. Nice little run there by the running back, getting to the end zone, giving the Rhinos the early lead, but Welcome All would fight back as they go to the air, doing what they do best, using their speed, trying to create some yardage for their offense to get things going for them. Now here they're inside the 10-yard line. On 4th down, they go to the air, go to their big receiver, but the Rhinos cornerback makes a play on the ball, giving it a turnover on downs, giving the Rhinos the ball back again. And then here, watch this run by number 21. Great run by him, getting the ball down to the 30-yard line. And then later on in the drive, they give it to number 1. He gets into the end zone, and the Rhinos would win the championship 20-12.
Oh, man, it was just great football from start to finish. And I'm going to tell you something, the tournament itself, I can see why it's tough for an out-of-towner to come in and win this thing. Georgia football is some of the best football that I've ever encountered. The game itself, I knew my boys were capable of it. These guys are big, they're strong, they're physical, they're fast. And all we needed to do is go out there and execute it. And that's what the boys did today. That's how we were able to come out with that win today.
The number 1 team in the land, Sandtown Vikings, missing their quarterback, taking on the 3-time defending Northwest Georgia Youth Football League champions. But I tell you what, this Sandtown team is hard to play as they are good at so many levels. As you see, they score a touchdown early, and then going to their tight end, goes up and gets it, makes a nice juggling catch, putting Sandtown in position. Then here going back with their all-star running back, gets inside here. It's just all speed as he gets around the left side, gets into the end zone, and Sandtown would lead big. Then here on defense, Ackworth goes to the air. The corner steps in front of the pass, and he is going to take it to the house as the Sandtown Vikings would win their 4th B2C championship. Great action, guys, as we always say, but let's focus on the 10 and under division B2C championship series. Check this out. Ackworth Warriors, 6 and under, they won it. 7 and under, they won it. 8 and under, runners up. 9 and under, they dust themselves off, got back up, won it again. Now they are at the 10 and under division, and they have their rival there to meet them in the championship game of the B2C Championship Series, and that is the Central DeKalb Jaguars, ranked number 2 in the state. Of course, Ackworth is ranked number 1. What better way to go out and make history for the Ackworth Warriors by beating their rival? Let's see what happens. The game everybody has been waiting to see. Number 1 ranked Ackworth Warriors taking on number 2 Central DeKalb, and it is a muff punt to start the highlights off. Central DeKalb would recover, and can they knock off one of the greatest teams in B2C history? As you see, they go to the air, and it is a big-time catch by the receiver, number 23, to give Central DeKalb the lead. But Ackworth Warriors, these are champions. Number 3 goes back to pass, doesn't see anybody open. Gets into the open field, gets down around the 10-yard line to give the Ackworth Warriors good position. And then later in the drive, they go to big number 56. Gets into the end zone, and the score would be tied 6-6 on the conversion. They go to number 20, last year's B2C Player of the Year. Good tough run to get into the end zone, giving the Ackworth Warriors the lead 7-6 as they head into halftime. Coming out of halftime, only down by 1. CDJ kicking the ball off. Ackworth doesn't field the ball properly, and Central DeKalb hops on the ball, and can this be the team to knock off Ackworth after they gave them their only loss a couple of years ago in the 8 and under division. But Ackworth, they have to lean on that defense, and that's exactly what they do. As number 56 gets a quarterback sack, and then here's just more pressure on number 1 as he can't get the ball off. And then here late in the game, Central DeKalb with one last chance to get something going. But it is an interception that seals the game for the Ackworth Warriors as they go down as one of the greatest teams in B2C history. Congratulations to those kids. They win the game 7-6.
Outstanding football game. I mean, if we were going to end it on that type of note, we just couldn't ask for a better football game. You know, these guys showed the character. They dug deep. We got in that fourth quarter huddle and said, hey, this is when champions are made. This is when you become the greatest team of all time. And they sucked it up and went out there and made plays. BoysInTheBeat.com!
How about this? In the B2C state championship, 2 teams from the same conference make it to the championship game. And Welcome muffs the punt. Fayette County takes advantage of it as they recover. And then here the throw is a little bit underthrown, but number 5 makes a nice catch, putting Fayette County in great position to score. Then later in the drive, they call number 1's number as he gets into the end zone, giving Fayette County the lead. And again, like we said, special teams was just giving Welcome so many troubles, as usually they are very solid there, as Fayette County would get the ball. And then here, number 1, great pass, and number 33 goes up and gets it. And then number 1 gets into the end zone again on the quarterback sneak, as Fayette County would lead 13-0. But Welcome would fight back, and look at that catch right there, man. Going over one side, looking over the other side, making the catch. But it was just too much Fayette County as they get the sack and also win the B2C Championship Series.
As far as the game goes, it was a great game like it always is with Welcome. The biggest difference in this game compared to the other 2 is we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot and put ourselves in bad down and distance situations, so we were able to move the football. And we did what we normally do because we're a fairly mistake-free team. It's great to be here. It is a huge honor to coach a team this talented and to be in this environment and be able to win a state championship. A lot of people out here don't know this, but when we were 7 and started building this team, we were 1-9. We were 1-9. And I got 4 people here tonight, players that were on that team, and I am so happy for them because they chose to stay around and build something. And now you got your state championship.
All right, guys, the championship game of the Frank Ski Bowl is now here, and it's the game everybody wanted to see. Number 1 ranked Atlanta Vikings taking on the number 2 ranked Central DeKalb Jaguars. The Atlanta Vikings have a stable in the backfield with Dawson and Kamari, the two-headed monster there. But then the Central DeKalb Jaguars, that defensive line they have with Cam down there in the middle, number 80. And then when you switch over to offense, Nate Morgan at running back. I cannot wait to see this game. Check the highlights out. Frank Ski Bowl Championship, and there goes the man himself, Frank Ski, who started this Youth Bowl years ago trying to bring the 2 best teams together.
Hey, ain't but one question to ask. For the very last time, anywhere, anybody ready to go walk with me?
Yes, sir!
Anybody ready to go walk with me?
Yes, sir!
One time! One time!
It is time to get it on. Big game ready. Number 1 Atlanta Vikings taking on the number 2 ranked Central DeKalb Jaguars. And this number 10 has to be one of the most versatile players in the country. He can line up in the backfield, can line up out wide, catch passes. And here you see him on special teams taking a punt to the house to give the Atlanta Vikings the early lead. But Central DeKalb would fight back. As you see, they go to the air. Number 1 rips the ball out of the corner's hand, gets into the end zone, looks like he scores a touchdown, but the play is ruled an interception for the Atlanta Vikings. and the Atlanta Vikings would take advantage of this instantly as they give it to number 28. And he whips off a 70-yard touchdown run to increase the Atlanta Vikings lead. And then the Atlanta Vikings just take over. As we told you, number 10 can do it all. Look at him getting the ball on a jet sweep here. 50 yards later, he is in the end zone, only adding on to the Atlanta Vikings lead. And then here, a staple play from the Atlanta Vikings. The throwback to the quarterback. They scored a touchdown, and the Atlanta Vikings would win big, 40-0.
These guys have been competing against each other since they was about 6 years old. And to go on for us to get up to 12 years old, we knew somebody was going to have to lose. But just thank God we pulled a victory out. But my hat goes out to CD. They have an outstanding program. And we love going to compete. Keep up the good work.
Give me 2. Give me 3. Turn me up!
Time to turn up. Top 10 plays of the week. Started off with the Frank Ski Bowl championship game. Central DeKalb versus Atlanta Vikings and number 10 Dawson. Again, one of the most versatile players in the country. You can line him up in the backfield, line him up out wide, and he returns kicks. And you see him taking a 42-yard punt return back to the house. At number 9, Sandtown Vikings, one of the best teams in the country, if not the best. Look at the tight end, go for the ball, juggle it a little bit, hangs on to it, gets the first down for the Sandtown team. They would end up winning the game. At number 8, the Rhinos from Maryland. Listen, that is a trick offense that I didn't even know who had the ball. Either way, they got a touchdown. They ended up winning the championship for the 1400 division. At number 7, watch number 23 go up and get it in the end zone. He would give Central DeKalb the lead at that time, but Ackworth would come back and win the game. At number 6, watch this run here. Gets up inside, takes a hard hit, gets out the left side, shows the speed off, gets to the end zone. He shows why he is the reigning B2C Player of the Year. At number 5, to win the ball game, this is what Central DeKalb does. Hits him with the play action, goes to the tight end. Tight end is in the end zone, and they would advance to the championship game, which you saw there earlier in the highlights. At number 4, a staple in Coach Tim's offense, the quarterback throwback. I tell you, and who runs it better than him? Atlanta Vikings will go on and win the Frank Ski Bowl championship. At number 3, watch this catch by number 22 from the Jonesboro Gators. Go up and get it and leave no doubt you got the ball in your hands. At number 2, we always love game winners. And that is exactly what Tucker does. As number 1 goes around the right side, wins the ball game for the Tucker Lions in a thriller as they beat the Atlanta Vikings 13-12. At number 1, and it's not really the play, but it's just what it means to the team. Ackworth Warriors, number 44 with the interception, as he helps his team become one of the greatest teams in B2C history. Good luck to those boys there as they move on to middle school. And that is your top 10 plays of the week. All right, guys, another Frank Ski Bowl done. Another B2C championship series done. This might have been the best one ever. The competition was amazing for both events. And now let's focus on December 28th, the B2C Gala. The awards will be given out for Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, the B2C Prime Awards, the Tournament Awards. So many awards to give out, so many kids to recognize for their excellence on the field. But I will say one thing. Before the season ends, we would like to send a big shout out to the parents, to the coaches, to the volunteers that made the B2C championship happen. Without them, of course, this wouldn't happen. This wouldn't go off as successfully as it did, to create a stage for the kids to be recognized and celebrated for what they do on the field, win or lose. So, guys, that is our show for this week. We appreciate you so much. We love you, man. Take care. I'm out.